Alright, welcome to Immediate Review, where we see a movie in theaters and review it immediately in my car.
Oi, Peter, guess what I found?
What'd you find?
The Holy Grail.
Oh, it's on VHS as well. That's what we watched it. No, we watched it at Regal. So, just for the record, I have never watched this movie all the way through.
We just watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail, one of the best fucking comedies from the greatest comedy troupe, and this is their masterwork. And
so yeah, I've never watched this before all the way through. I've only seen like little tidbits,
which I didn't know.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, not like I haven't seen that many of the Monty Pythons. I've seen Meaning of Life, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. I really like that one. This one I've definitely held out on, and I still haven't seen The Life of Brian at all. But
did you watch the show? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got two totally different perspectives, because I'm a huge Monty Python fan. I got the big box set of the show with all 4 seasons, and wow. I've got all 3 movies, seen them a million times ever since I was like 12 years old. Like, the first time I saw it was on VHS on a TV like this big, and it like the VHS was so shitty I didn't realize that there were multiple actors playing the roles until the same actors were playing multiple roles until I got it on DVD when I was 15, and I was dumber then, but yeah.
Okay, so this movie is it's really hard to explain, honestly. Like, and that might be why it's taken me so long to actually watch it all the way through, is that it's such a unique film. Like, obviously, it's a parody on the King Arthur story, but the way that it blends this, like, just, like, stupid, like, humor
and yet
with
intelligent.
Yeah, with this contrast of just, like, incredible intelligence that they're able to just smear together onto the screen. And I think a perfect example is like when they're talking to the guy, there's like a guy just like piling like shit into a bag. And they're like literally just like these two people are like collecting shit and refusing to give this guy directions while having a conversation about the complexities of like political systems.
Their system of government.
Yeah, and like wanting to have like a genuine discussion about that, like while in the midst of this just like weird argument. It's like that's the movie. Like it just has these like hyper intelligent like ideas that just are blended together with just the silly like stupid comedy.
That's Monty Python in a nutshell,
yeah,
man.
It's like it's brilliant. It's definitely really good.
Oh man, we're gonna have to watch some of their other stuff now. Yeah, what else? Tell me more, man. I'm interested what you have to say, like, since you don't know much about it.
I mean, I know like a decent amount, or not a decent amount, but like little tidbits and stuff that you'd find on the internet, like that they didn't want to deal with the budget to have like a horse master and stable and everything like that. So
that's how legendary this movie is. You know facts about it, but you haven't seen the movie.
And that's why they used the coconuts, because they could like, you know, it wasn't just for the joke. Like, they did it for budget purposes as well, and then just decided to make it. And I love that they kind of tag that along with, you know, of like, yeah, you're just using coconuts as like the sound for your horse. It's like, where did you get the coconut? Like they at least acknowledge the like complexities of the situation that they're in.
I never thought about that. That's really funny. That's totally how that led them to that joke.
Yeah, and like and they keep that joke through the whole thing. Like,
it becomes a very important plot point.
Yeah, by the end of it, like him knowing the speed of swallows and whatnot is like genuinely important to the story, and the fact that they're able to do that with something that they probably didn't even intend to have in the initial script anyways is like brilliant.
I love when Vedmir is like, he has the coconut and he's like trying it and he like throws it. There's a brief shot.
So one thing I really like about the movie is that it's able to, like, highlight things that it's incredibly self-aware. Like we had talked about when we came out of the movie, the shot of, like, just like, oh, like, look at the castle, this is, it's Camelot. It's like, oh, it's only a model. Like they're just very aware of the fact that this is going to be like a movie, and that kind of ability to break the fourth wall and whatnot is like on Deadpool levels. And
dude, it's an early example of it too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm honestly, now that I think about it, I'm sure there are early examples, but that's the earliest one I know of.
Yeah, like when Galahad is being tempted and whatnot. It's just like, just like, oh, it's like that rotten girl. Do you think we should have cut this scene out? It's like, we were so worried. Get on with it.
Get on with it.
That is one thing that I will say is the movie does feel a bit long. Like, for what it is, there's a lot of little stuff that stretches this movie out.
It's an hour and 40 minutes, and like it's a 70s comedy.
Yeah,
like,
it feels like it should be like an hour long, like, TV special
and
or
they
something like that.
what? Fuck you, man.
I mean
I can understand trimming like 5, maybe 10 minutes of some things, but
oh man, there's lots of stuff that'll happen that just, like, will stretch out a scene unnecessarily for me.
I mean, it's still like better and faster paced than most comedies like of the 70s.
I mean, even, yeah, and I'll agree. Even like nowadays, like I mean, most of the comedies that like are comedies, they fucking suck.
A lot of times too, the movie does take advantage of its really good like set design and costumes and stuff, and does kind of just like to linger and be like, fuck, I mean, like, it looks great, man. It looks better than a lot of fantasy movies, and I think a bulk of the fat of the shots is just like landscapes and
I gotta point out the set
things
design
like that.
was really, really good. Like the scene where Lancelot's like murdering everyone in the castle looks great. The shots where he's banging the like ringer and is like, bring out your dead.
Oh yeah, amazing.
That like place looks legit like like one of the sets from like a town from Braveheart or something like that. Like, it looks great.
It was beautiful. I've never seen this in theaters, and I haven't upgraded to Blu-ray, and I definitely need to get it now because it's just it looked fantastic. I loved it. I was very happy with it. The VHS seriously looks so bad. It's just you cannot tell everybody's face because there's a lot of wide shots, and they're even wider because of the open matte format, and everyone's like dirty and messy, and they've got like a wig, and only this much of their face is able to be seen. And when I first started getting into Monty Python, it was impossible to tell who was who, but I loved it. Man, I mean, this movie is just legendary. So this was their first movie. They had a TV show for about 5 years.
Really? Okay.
And then this was their first movie.
Yeah, I knew they had a TV show, but I'd never watched it.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And it's just, this is kind of their brand, just irreverent, awesome humor that like mixes intelligence with farcical shit, and just like kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of characters fucking with each other, and kind of political allegory and religious allegory laced in.
The religious allegory was hilarious.
Oh yeah, Monty Python, they're very anti-religious.
The cult chanting and then smacking themselves in the head with the boards. Like, oh man, I laughed so hard.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
Classic. And I like the use of like, like doing that, like having political commentary, and like, because it is interesting to talk about and compare the political situation that was happening then to, the actual
dude, that was during all the shit in Ireland. Holy fuck, that was, I mean, wow.
Go watch Hunger.
Didn't even think about that. So yeah, this was their first movie, and it's just a medieval epic, and it is brilliant, almost in the same sense that their comedy is both smart and dumb. Like, this movie is a legitimately great fantasy epic. Like, you can even tell at times that like Peter Jackson was influenced by it, and there was also another scene that I'm pretty sure Quentin Tarantino was inspired by when it cuts to all the bodies on the floor at Lancelot's. There's like no music, and it's a wide shot from above, and they're all like limbs on the ground going, "Oh!" It was just like
or
Kill Bill.
The shot where they're moving up to the rabbit cave and whatnot, and it's like total Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
like...
dude. Oh, I guarantee Peter Jackson love. In fact, I know that for a fact. Yeah, and what else? You even said the chosen one. I'm coming. Like when Lancelot
Lancelot's
runs,
charging the castle. Yeah,
dude.
They do that cut multiple. I love how they like speed it up, and he just like appears, and just like fucking murders everybody.
I think like
really good.
It's this, Blazing Saddles, and Young Frankenstein are like the best comedies of the 70s. Like, if there's only three that we can save, it's those three. This movie is just like, it was a pretty big crowd for Bend in terms of the whenever we see classic films, there's normally like 5 to 6 people. So 2001: A Space Odyssey, there were 4 people.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
And there were like 20 something in here.
Yeah, there was a good amount. And yeah, most of the audience was pretty respectful. So
mostly, except the people who like to fucking quote. It's like, yeah, I've seen it too. I've seen it the last 15 years. I know all the lines. I'm not gonna fucking say them.
It's not like
I say them every day, man. I quote this movie a lot in my daily life. I really do. I do. Get on with it. I do. Stop that all the time.
She's got huge
tracts of land. That's my favorite scene. I don't want land, but father, I'd rather. That is my all-time favorite sequence.
It's like, no, don't sing.
Stop that.
That.
But I don't like it.
I don't like it. What's not to like? Oh yeah, and it's great. And honestly, I was very surprised that a lot of the stuff that has entered like meme culture on the internet is from the stuff that like is not the funniest stuff in the movie.
That's how it goes, like, generally. Yeah, it's true.
Like all the stuff that's the most quotable is like, and maybe I'm just like desensitized to it because like I've seen those jokes so many times on the internet, and so going in there don't hit as hard. But like, you know, I honestly feel like some of them are like are weaker than a lot of the jokes that they tell in that. Like, especially some of the, you know, it's a lot like Airplane, you know, but like the British version of it, where it doesn't like.
Oh fuck! Okay, 4 comedies we have to save. Airplane.
Because like, yeah, it does this amazing job of it. It's not like modern, you know, Adam Sandler comedy where like the joke is like smashed into your face and you're just like, yeah, this is what's fucking funny. Think it's funny. It's like they just throw jokes at you, and it's done with a very like purposeful intelligence, and you get to decide what you think is funny. And I think that's like the best parts of comedy.
Hell yeah, man.
And the 90s had a really good blend of like the two, you know, like Ace Ventura. I think the first Ace Ventura did a great job of having a decent plot kind of intermixed in with like the stupid comedy and kind of blending the two, and this one kind of does that in a different way of having like stupid kind of scenarios happen with like intelligent dialogue, or, you know, like intelligent ideas that create jokes that are just like, you know, stupid unless you think about how they thought of that joke, and it's like, oh, okay,
dude. Yeah, I mean, Monty Python shit still holds up. It's all just so funny and great and so smart ass and just like, I don't know, and beautifully irreverent. And it's got that British charm, you know. You can't help but just love them. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, I can definitely see like why it's taken me so long to like watch it all the way through. But seeing it in theaters is like a cool experience.
I know what you mean. I mean, I've seen it enough times to where it doesn't bother me, like the pacing or anything. Like, but it is true. It's not a flyby movie.
Well, and I've never owned it, so it would have been always on TV that I was watching it. And like with the 5-minute commercial blocks, it just completely takes you out of the flow of the movie in general. So I can see why I'd have trouble with that, but I'm definitely glad I watched it.
What was your favorite sequence? What did you think was the funniest little skit?
The funniest little skit. I really liked the shit in the bag. Like I still want to understand like why they were collecting that fucking.
Oh, just like piling the shit.
Just piling all that
There's
up
some good filth over here.
There's like no point to it at all. But yeah, like there's tons of great sequences, But I think that one was the one that stands out the most. Just like the incredible contrast between like the three there was like 3 tiers of like joke that's happening. It's like people digging through shit, an argument about not wanting to give them the directions to somewhere, and then a political argument on top of that, like all happening at once,
all with a beautifully misty and soft like Irish gorgeous cinematography going on. Like the Knights Who Say Knee are classic.
Tim, the Enchanter. I'm surprised I've never fucking.
There are some who call me Tim. Yeah, dude. If I could trim down some, it'd be the Knights Who Say Knee. That's the one that goes on the longest that doesn't need to. I will definitely admit to that.
For me, it would be little sections, like just little bits of stuff that happen throughout. Like it wouldn't be like all of the scenes should be in there. Just like little stuff that's just meant to like pad out the length. I would cut down a bit, but yeah.
I love I forgot about the old woman who's just like, or we will say knee. No, do your worst. She's got these big warts on her and just. Oh man, such a classic film. And then the Answer These Questions 3, that fucking bridge. That's the thing too, is this was not a cushy shoot. Like they got dirty on this one, and they had to walk in all of that armor and fucking climb hills and walk across that bridge and just like.
And when it comes to like being self-aware, like in that first scene where he's just like, "Bring your dad," he's just like, "Oh, that must be the king." How do you know? He's like, he's not covered in shit.
Because he hasn't got shit all over him.
Yeah, it's just like, it just points out that like everyone in the shot, like including the people who were playing bodies, because those were definitely people they were stacking on that fucking wagon. They're literally like all just covered in shit, and it's just like, the makeup costume department, like bravo, they fucking did an amazing
I know.
job.
I don't think this got nominated for any Academy Awards, but it should have been. It's really good. I mean, there are medieval movies from like the late 90s, early 2000s that look cheesier than this. I mean, it looks good. Like,
right? Yeah.
It looks what the kids call gritty.
Yeah.
Like
there's some shots here and there that are like more out of focus or like less than others, but for the most part it's done really, really well.
Oh yeah.
Especially for just like a comedy like troupe coming together to like make a fucking stupid awesome movie. Like hell yeah. But I gotta say it. I think I like The Meaning of Life more.
The Meaning of Life? I feel you.
Because, like, this one, like, I definitely, like, love the parody and whatnot, but The Meaning of Life has, like, so much more, like, social commentary on, like, what's going on today. And, the first time that I was like, all right, I'll decide to watch it, and plugged it in, and I think one of the first scenes is, like, these like corporate offices, like as pirate ships, like battling each other.
The Crimson Permanent Assurance.
Yeah, it's like I love that. Just like corporate warfare, like symbolized in like naval battle was just like awesome.
And it's interesting too because I'm pretty sure Meaning of Life's a solid 2 hours. Like
really?
it's longer by like 25 minutes. How long is this one? 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Wow. Okay, wow. I thought it was like 101.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe this is the, I don't know, the American edit. But yeah, we're gonna have to watch Life of Brian. Life of Brian is a parody of religious films.
Yeah.
Like,
My brother, he watched it recently and said he really enjoyed it.
oh,
So
he hadn't seen it.
Yeah, he hadn't seen it at all.
Oh man,
Like,
it's so funny.
It hadn't been in our house, man. Like we hadn't watched them.
It's raunchy as shit. So's Meaning of Life too. That's another thing that this thing brownie points for is this one like keeps it PG. There are some violence wise, it gets pretty R. I guess they were like, this movie's so goofy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's hard to write PG comedy. It really is. And so when they can pull it off and be this intelligent,
Right.
you know, without like, I'm not trying to knock the other movies, but just like you can't resort on just like him opening a window with his dick hanging out, or just like you know, a bunch of naked women running while some guys running away from them. I don't know, but it's tough making BG comedy, and yeah, this is great.
So yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. It's an excellent movie. I had a blast. I had a good laugh, even with audience members being a little a little weird.
We had some annoying quoters,
but you know, you move past it. Love the movies and all that.
I needed this after Joker, you know. I really did. Like I'm glad.
Wipe out.
Cool.
Demonetized. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next review. What's the next one is?
Next one's Gemini Man.
Gemini Man and Screen X.
Gemini Man.
Gonna be fucking dumb.
Woo!
Later.